Morning, Rack on Beer viewers. Just gonna make this video to give some context to this this video. I'm brewing right now, and I've been recording, and then I realized that I never really set up the brew day. I never really set up the brew day. Sorry, it's early. It's morning. There's coffee in here. It's a bit early for beer. Well, that, and I also only have like north of 10% imperial stouts and sour beers laying around, which don't scream breakfast to me, which is why I'm brewing. In fact, I've tapped. All my kegs are dead. There's nothing in the pipeline because I was in the US for 3 weeks. So yeah, it's time to brew. And I'm brewing what? Cheers. I'm brewing what I've been talking about brewing forever, which is the Oatmalt New England style hazy IPA, which is an IPA with oat malt instead of flaked oat, because I wanted to try that out. And I also have a new brewing technique I'm going to try out for my Grainfather. There's going to be stuff about that later. So what's going to happen is this is going to be the brew day video with a lot of emphasis mostly on how the grain bag thing works in the Grainfather, and probably pretty little emphasis on the actual brew day. And then this is going to be a 20-liter batch of beer. I'm going to split it into two 10-liter fermenters, my little brew buckets. And what I'm going to do is I am going to dry hop one of them during fermentation, and we're going to do that whole biotransformation type deal. And the other fermenter is going to get dry hopped as I would normally do it. So after fermentation ends, and then a dry hop, then a cold crash. So what's going to happen is one's going to do dry hop during fermentation, then it's going to go into the crash. At the same time that goes into crash, the other one's going to get dry hopped as normal. And then I'm going to keg the crashed one, put that one into the crash, and you get it. You get it. And then we're gonna carb them up. We're going to do side by side. I'm going to drink both of them and see if the biotransformed one is any different. But that's going to be a different video. So yeah, enjoy my ramblings on weird looking malts, and Papa's got a brand new bag. Cheers. Cheers. So this is kind of the special part about today's brew. Doing an IPA, a hazy New England IPA, or what I hope will be hazy, but instead of flaked oats, I'm going to be using this, which is Oatmalt. So this is malted oat kernels. You can see it looks, yeah, quite a bit different than, for instance, just normal barley. So yeah, we're gonna see what this does. I'm looking forward to seeing what it does to my malt mill, because it seems pretty hard, really small and hard. So yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what this adds to a beer. So as a little addendum to that last video, that wheat malt, or that oat malt that I showed you, was Golden Naked Oats, which I believe is made by Simpsons. I ordered it from the UK, but then I realized for the amount I was gonna make and the percentage of oats that I wanted in the grist, it didn't quite have enough oat malt. So I couldn't find it anywhere in Denmark, but I did find a Danish maltster that makes oat malt, and this is it. So this is from Grainfather, and it's oat malt, but check it out. It's pretty gnarly compared to the UK one. The kernels are a lot bigger, and you can actually see the acrospire on quite a few of them. I don't know. I only need like a couple 100 grams out of here, so not a big deal. But isn't that weird that's so different? I don't know. Maybe someone more malt savvy than me can tell me about that. So, all right, on with the brew day. Okay, so today I'm doing a full 20-liter batch, or 5 gallons, whichever you would like to say it is. And for that, so when I do 10-liter batches, I do a brew in the bag with this little grain bag here. That's what I've been doing for my half batches, but since I'm doing a split batch, I need to do full 20, and I usually use the malt pipe for that. And if you've never seen the Grainfather, you put this little dealy bob all the way down here in the bottom of the malt pipe, and this seal that goes around the filter plate here is gotta be the most frustrating thing I have ever done in brewing. Getting it to actually seat properly without coming off the edge is just, it's really frustrating. It's actually one of the reasons that I switched over to doing some BIAB, brew in the bag, in this thing, is to avoid malt pipe issues. So what I've done, and what I'm going to test out today, is I bought this when I was in the US, and I think that they just shipped to Europe, but I thought that, well, I'd just save myself some shipping. And this is a brew bag. So it's a like a handmade, like a really reinforced big brew in a bag. And I bought that, yeah, to try out using the malt pipe and maybe making cleanup and assembly a little easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the malt pipe with that bag, and I'm going to use, this is actually the top plate that you're supposed to put on top of the mash. And I'm going to put it at the bottom because I can't really use the bottom plate because of the return pipe. But yeah, so I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put it upside down in there so that those little feet don't poke at the bag. All right, so that is in. Now this should line. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, so sorry if I'm giving you motion sickness. So yeah, all right, there's that in. Oh, I should have actually, hang on just a second. All right, there we go. I got the bag in the pipe, lining it. Shouldn't be any problem there. And then I've got it held on the outside for when I dough in with binder clips. But yeah, so that's my idea for kind of larger batch brew in a bag. Well, I'll use it for the smaller batch too, but eventually the thing is that I used to have to lift the bag out and then put it over a strainer, you know, like brew in a bag. But with this, I can actually use the malt pipe and the feet to seat it here. Yeah. So, all right, we'll see. I'm gonna dough in, so we'll see. All right, let's get this mashed in. Okay, so update on the bagification of the Grainfather malt pipe. I had some minor setbacks. You can't see, maybe you can see down in there. Now floating in the actual wort down here is both the plate from the bottom and a strainer. So I have dry strained and dry filtered this beer. First wort filter, first wort strainered. So yeah, the top plate that usually goes on top of the mash for the malt pipe must turn out to be slightly smaller diameter than the bottom plate that's supposed to go in the bottom. So it actually fell through when I lifted the malt pipe up. That fell through, and then the bag obviously fell through as well. so I had to have my wife come help me. I put the bottom plate that's supposed to go in there with the return pipe inverted. You can't really see it. I'll try and show it later, but that's what's actually holding the bag up now, and then I'm just sparging over top. Yeah, it's not going so great. I'm probably just, I mean, yeah. Let's talk about it once I've fished everything out of the boiler. All right, so here quickly is the inverted return pipe thing that I had to put in the bottom in order to support the grain bag while sparging. Wouldn't be able to do that normally because then it would hit the bottom when it's down inside the Grainfather. But you can actually take that return pipe off. It's just a nut on there, so I might try that again. Like that. I know I said I wasn't going to do much of the actual brew day, like the actual brewing footage, but I thought that this was worth a look. Look at that. That is insane looking. This is the hot break it's about to break. It says 98 degrees. So, other than being my favorite boy band, it means that I need to get this thing ready and watch out for boilovers. So, alright, we'll be back. Hey guys, I was just finishing up editing this Homebrew Wednesday Brew Day video thing, and I realized that I was brewing this kind of on the clock, and I had to really rush. I had to get the beer in the fermenters and then really rush out to meet someone. So I didn't really get to wrap this up, so there's no real conclusion from that day. So yeah, this is future Alex coming to you. On actual Wednesday. Yeah, so putting the bag in the Grainfather, I don't think I really even got into why I wanted to do that. Right, I did because of that seal thing at the bottom. I don't know, I'm probably reinventing the wheel, and this first attempt was kind of a disaster. I think that the design of the Grainfather is really good. Really, I think that the malt pipe is good. I'm kind of looking for a way to make it less of a hassle for the way that I have a hard time like emptying it too at the end. I think that that's kind of clumsy, and the bag is really just, it kind of makes my brew day a little easier. It's probably absolutely superfluous, like not necessary at all to do that. Like I said, reinventing the wheel. But I don't know, I like to play around with it. So that's just what I was doing. How did it turn out? It didn't turn out good. That top plate, the sound really messed up, but basically what happened is the top plate is just slightly smaller diameter than the bottom plate. So the top plate actually, when the full weight of the grain bag was on it, it dropped through, and that was a disaster. So the bottom plate is meant to be the bottom plate, surprising. But so I'm gonna have to take off the return pipe if I'm gonna try that again with the bag. But like I said, probably going forward, if I'm gonna do full-size batches like that, I'm just gonna use the malt pipe as intended on the Grainfather, and I'm just gonna use that bag because it's a much nicer bag than my old one to do the normal kind of 10-liter batches that I've been doing recently. So yeah, that is kind of the conclusion of this video. I might make another one that's more coherent and you can actually hear in the future and try something different with that bag, but I love the bag. My method of using it on the Grainfather was flawed. Anyway, Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers, everyone. The beer is turning out great. That's going to be a separate video with the tasting and talking about biotransformation. So, cheers. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, happy Homebrew Wednesday yet a third time.